why the change? Because as you all know, I'm very sure you signed up to this particular session because you discovered that a lot of things are changing around PMI, and you want to know what may be changing and the implication for you. So today, I'm going to be covering the change. I mean, why the change? And what are these changes? You know, the changes are actually categorized into three, or we have categorized the changes into three. One, on exam; two, on PMBoK as a book; and three, sorry, and three on the REP, that's the Register Education Providers, which have been changed to ATP right now. And then three, we're going to be talking about the implication and the options available to you and your next step, you see. So we've got only 4 things to cover today in our session. So I'm going to start with why the change. Sorry, I'm going to just escape my screen because somebody wrote on my screen so that I can erase that. And yes, have a clean screen. Great. So why do we have the change or the changes that we're talking about at this point? Number one, you know, changes to PMI exam, to PMI books, or to the education provider program is not new at all. One, it is a process, or it is the process. Every 4 years, PMI normally changes the PMBoK based on feedback received from many practitioners like you and myself across the world, you know, just to reflect the current realities within the project management space in the project management body of knowledge. So if it is a body of knowledge, then it should reflect the day-to-day realities. But because if it doesn't reflect that, then people then see it as no longer being useful or being applicable to the normal day-to-day realities. So normally, PMI normally does these every 4 years, just to make sure that, yes, the entire standard or the body of knowledge is still current. And at the same time, the change may not really align with the schedule or the timeline of the PMBoK updates, but sometimes they are always very close to each other. PMI as well normally changes the examination, you know, which they call ECO, that's exam content outline, which is pretty much like the syllabus, but very high level syllabus about the PMP exam. So they normally change that as well about every 4 years or so. So the two of them, somehow, they kind of, the update or the changes to any of them, they're kind of always close to each other, but not at the same time, you know, because the PMI has always tried not to make people believe that the entire PMP exam is based on PMBoK, as some people may feel, you know, but the exam had never been on PMBoK only. But though PMBoK had been one of those reference materials or books that people do use to actually prepare for the exam. Now, so the changes is not new. It's just one of those things that normally happens every 4 to 5 years, so it's not new. Then two, whatever we're getting right now, many of the changes that are happening at the moment, they're all based on feedback from the people taking the exam, from the pass rate, and from the quality of people that we even have, that we have holding the PMP certificate in organizations. Because many people pass the exam, but without even being able to manage a simple project. So much feedback from the market, talking about the quality of the courses that people do attend. And that's one of the major changes this year coming along that you may have learned about. Now, we're changing from REP to ATP, and for you to be able to teach or train the PMP concept within an ATP is just a company that had been authorized by PMI to deliver courses such as PMP, but there are so many other courses that are being handled, or products that are being handled by PMI. So PMP is just one of them, though the most popular. So some organizations are being authorized, not accredited, authorized to deliver such trainings to the public. So if you're going to be delivering PMP going forward for an ATP, then PMI must accredit you. So this is the first time PMI is bringing this on board. Bodies like APMG, Axelos, PeopleSat, they've always done that. You know, they've always accredited their trainers. For instance, I'm an accredited trainer for many courses like Prince 2, Agile PM, ITIL, and so on and so forth. And for each of those products, with PeopleSat, with APMG, with Axelos, I've always gone through a rigorous process for myself to get the accreditation to be able to deliver the courses. But PMI had never done that. No, PMI just assumes that anybody that has PMP should be able to train PMP. Now they've just discovered that that process is broken. And in order to fix that, and based on the feedback they're getting from the market, and based on the pass rate of PMP exams as well, now it has now become important to be sure of and to specify the minimum criteria that must be met for people to be able to deliver quality to the people in around the world. And why do we have these changes as well? The world is changing, and as you know, everything around us today is technology enabled. You know, some people are in the past, we have some technology companies or IT company, but now today, almost every company in the world is IT enabled. You know, so many companies in the world, many governments in the world, we're going through a lot of IT transformation, digital transformation. And in order to make all of these digital transformation realities within our local environment or foreign environment or company environment, we cannot deliver these changes all at once. So Agile has gained more ground. Not that Agile is new. Agile is not new. There is nothing in Agile that we're talking about today that had not been around in the 60s, in the 50s. But the kind of focus on Agile today used not to be this much. So now there's so much focus on Agile because we need to be able to respond to changes like that and make sure that our organizations or even our products that we sell can align with the market realities and the market dynamics. So the key thing is we live in a VUCA environment. And I'm very sure a lot of you know the meaning of VUCA because it's one of those common terminologies that we all bounce around today. One, the environment that we live in right now is volatile. So we call that volatility. So we live in a very volatile environment, and in order to be able to respond to that, and please just, sorry, let me quickly say this. Please, you cannot, please do not use video, yes, or else you may be distorting the screen. So please, we appreciate if you do not turn on your video. Now, next. So we have a volatile environment, and we all live in volatile environment, and everybody can testify to that. You know, we all know the times that we live in right now, and uncertain as well. So we call this uncertainty. Uncertainty, very uncertain environment that we live in right now, and very complex environment. You know, complexity, many parts, many factors to deal with at the same time. You know, and next, we live in highly ambiguous world. That's ambiguity. So there's so much ambiguity, so much unknown. In fact, people feel, oh, the government should just tell us what to do right now. But even the government, they do not know what they're doing because nobody knows. So we live in highly VUCA environment. And in order to deal with that level of VUCA that we find ourselves in the world today, then we need to be agile. We need different approaches to managing projects. So those days are gone when most projects can be fleshed out from day one. You know, and because of that, we need to reflect these changes in approaches to managing changes and to delivering products within enterprise or within the world to the realities of today. So these are the drivers of the changes that you may be reading about or hearing about when it comes to PMI today. And this particular change as well is to really buttress the fact that the PMP exam is not really the test of PMBoK. because a lot of people feel, oh, it's all about PMBoK, and I'm very sure you've heard about the changes coming to, that will be happening this year about the PMBoK, which is not released yet. But the key thing is PMBoK is just one of many materials, one of many books that you need to understand, read and understand and apply in your day-to-day life for you to be able to pass the PMP exam. So the reason for the change, in summary, are these 4 main reasons. So please take note of that. So the changes that we are seeing today, definitely they are necessary to align whatever we have within project management to the current realities around the